Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are so excited. I cannot believe Skyla and I keep texting. It's the fourth week. Are we sure? Like, did we do the math right? Like, what is going on? But here we are. Final stretch. Final stretch.
Is
So,
this where we should play like the graduation music?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
We're going to mail you caps and gowns, and we would like you to parade across your screen.
Those might be really hard to find right now, or easy to find. One or the
True.
one. Okay, so we want to get started because it's been so good to see everyone's wins in the Facebook group. If you guys want to share just a win that you've had this week.
This week is a slow start, but last week I was more diligent in allocating my time in the morning to not getting stuck doing things that weren't productive. I think I'm more aware of my time. I'm paying attention better. I'm not just oblivious. And I think it's because of coming to these calls and the Facebook group of, just reminding like, hey, pay attention, be aware. And it really does make a big difference. So that's been really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, same. Although I think this week has been fairly good for me, but I'm not wasting time scrolling on my phone
Yeah.
in the mornings. I sure have found that that's kind of shifted to the evenings sometimes.
Okay.
Um, but I will get a handle on that. But it, like I had mentioned in one of my posts in the group, it really has shifted me to where I can set my day up for success and really get in and do my work that I need to do, reaching out to my customers and setting up dates and just, yeah, doing good things like that and still taking my time to enjoy some of this retirement and have some downtime and not feel bad about it. So it's been really good.
That's awesome. I want to share a little win I shared with Angie just a little bit ago, but um, Jenny, I don't know if you're aware. I think Lisa knows, but Brian and I are up here in Michigan all this week,
I
and
figured.
yeah, it's birthday week, so we have to help out where we can, and their babysitter was on vacation this week. So obviously everything about my routine is different, but I have been trying to implement the things that we have learned in Rise and Shine and keeping as many of the pillars of my morning the same as I could, which means I'm still waking up. I'm making sure that I take my supplements. I drink my Ningxia Red. I've been really good about walking in the morning and at night. I actually brought my vibration plate with me. I told Brian, I'm like, here's the deal. I feel so good when I use that thing. I said, I'm bringing it with. And he's like, really? And I'm like, really? So our little car was packed to the gills. And I just didn't even care. And so now the kids call it the jiggle machine. And I just let them sit on it. This morning they were wrapped in blankets sitting on it. But I will say this though, like there is a different degree of calm and confidence. Like I don't feel like I'm just getting slammed in every direction. I know what we're going to eat because I made like 12 meals and froze them before we came. So we had an entire cooler. So I'm not stressing about making food. Usually Brian goes to the grocery store like every other day.
Mhm.
I don't feel like the refrigerator is very big, so I can't like stack it up like I would at home. And you guys, it is a completely different visit. Like I'm just chill, and it's a good thing because Brian's back flared up again. And if you guys recall, it was a year ago right now here when it went bad, and we decided it is this bed and it's killing him. And so I looked at him and I'm like, well, do we just go buy a new bed? I mean, I'm not above that, except I don't think they sell them in this town. I think we got to drive 2 hours somewhere to a city. But I'm like, get a new bed. But he spent the last 2 nights sleeping in the recliner. So he's not having a great time because he's just in pain. And I'm like, I do not want to relive. He missed everything last summer, and we're not even going home after this. We're going to Tennessee. And so I'm like, you got to pull it together, man. But it's a good thing that I decided, my past self said, hey, maybe you should do a bunch of prep work and just be chill. And it's working. And so I told Angie, I'm so proud of us. We took the kids outside all morning before the windstorm kicked up, wore them out, fed them an early lunch. They're asleep. I'm like, yes, we're winning. We're winning. And I have almost 2 hours before I have to go pick up Adelie at school. So there is something to this. That's all I'm going to say. I think it's so much of it like is right here, but I am right in the trenches with you guys. Like this works. So, yay.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
And I was going to share too. I told Skyla just briefly before we started that I woke up at 3:30 to dogs barking. They're kenneled. One needed to go out. He's had an upset stomach. So, like, please do that outside, whatever you're going to do. But he decided to come in and do it inside. And then, then they're awake and they're like, are we eating? What's happening? And so I just laid on the couch. I didn't want to disturb my husband, turned in this whole thing. And I slept until 5:30 instead of 5. And my first thought was, I'm already behind.
Yeah. Yep.
I've already lost. Cause then Josh came out and I'm like, there went my quiet time.
Oh,
Like there, and I got in that, oh no, oh no. And I looked at my planner and I thought, no, you always spend time with God first. You're not sacrificing that. The dishes can wait, the laundry can wait, all that can wait. And I just sat there and I was gonna go straight to coffee and skip the water. No, no,
yeah.
no, no.
Good job.
We're not gonna do all that. But I wasn't perfect by any means. I got a little short tempered at one point, but it was just the plan. If we work the plan and plan properly, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
I love it.
I love
Oh,
that. All right, let's get a question going. You guys want to journal? All right, our first question is, this one's kind of easy, but just do a 3 minute. We're going to set a timer for 3 minutes. And, we love our 3 minutes. And just do a thought download. Anything, just dump it out.
literally my favorite exercise in the world. Get it all on paper.
Okay, that's time. Okay, we want you now to take a second and look down at your thoughts that you wrote and highlight or star or underline or circle, whatever your heart desires, your sneakiest thought. It's the one that'll make you kind of cringe, like, oh, what happened there? Where am I? Why am I thinking that? Since we did all the training on, did you guys watch the training from Friday on the creation cycle?
I missed that. No, I'll have to go back and watch it.
That's okay. We're gonna teach you. We'll teach you. We thought it'd be a good exercise to run some thoughts through creation cycles, live and unplugged. Does anyone want to offer, do either of you want to offer a sneaky thought?
Sure. So I put down, I am working on healthy habits. Are they enough?
Mm.
Because I have to go back to the doctor in July and he wants me to have lost like 45 pounds by then.
Okay.
And I feel like I keep getting stuck.
Mm.
So
your thought would be, are my healthy habits enough? Or what are you?
yeah, I
You're right
I am
answer.
working.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
Or like, am I doing enough? Is that where your brain is? Or am I on the right path? Or
yeah, I know I'm not doing enough.
I'm not here to criticize you.
But see, I am. I'm
Yeah.
criticizing myself.
Yeah.
Hmm.
How about we say, am I doing enough?
Okay.
Or I'm not doing enough. Would that be fair?
Yeah. I'm not doing enough.
Doing enough. Okay. How do you feel when you say that?
Oh, I feel bad.
Mm.
And yeah, I just feel bad. I internalize that.
Lisa, do you feel bad emotionally and physically, or does it lean more one way or the other?
Both.
Okay.
When I think about it, it's more emotional, but I don't feel as good as I did like when I was training to run,
Okay.
a half marathon. But and I feel better since, we've been doing the liver cleanse and but yeah.
Would you say there's any guilt or shame there?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And if we're following that creation cycle, I should have drawn this on a whiteboard, huh? When we feel that way, when we're feeling bad or we're internalizing it, we're feeling guilty or full of shame, how are you acting?
I just sit on my rear end and I don't move like I need to.
Almost feel stuck.
And some of my food choices, aren't the greatest. I'm working on that a lot better than I am my exercise.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say you kind of stuck then? You kind of don't do anything instead of,
Yeah. Yeah.
good news, you're normal. So sorry if you wanted to be abnormal, you don't win that prize today. Um, but what we're showing in my handwriting, and I should have done this on the whiteboard. I'll do the next one on the whiteboard. But like what we're seeing is when we say, I'm not doing enough, you feel stuck, or I'm sorry, you feel bad, you feel guilt, you feel shame. And so then you're stuck. And when you behave in this way, all you're doing is proving that you're not doing
Mhm.
enough.
Mhm.
And our brains love to make sure we're always right. It's never
Yes.
our mother-in-law's fault, right? It's always, or it's never our fault. It's always our mother-in-law's fault, right? So you're always right in whatever you decide.
Yeah.
And you're safe. It's that whole, the brain's job is to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy. You're a lot safer in that office chair eating like I just ate, eating than you are walking out and doing something outside.
Right.
So it makes sense. What would you rather feel than guilt, shame, bad? Where do you want to feel?
Well, I want to feel healthy.
Mm.
And I did go for a walk this morning, and I was out in the middle of nowhere. So I just spoke it out loud that I am getting healthy. And what else? I am getting healthy, and I don't remember what else. It was something to do with I feeling as good as I did when I was training. So I am nowhere near where I was back then, but yeah. So I want to feel healthy. And I'll be honest, it just fogs up your brain. It just, I just feel like a slug most of the times. So yeah.
Mhm.
What did you
It
do?
is.
Tell me more about when you were training, because you've mentioned that a few times.
Oh, so every day, regardless of the weather, I would go out to our state park, which is just 3 miles north of town, and I would um, jog, for at least an hour or wog. I've never been able to do the whole thing, um, but yeah, I would go out and do that, but that was after work, so hottest part of the day. Um, so when I get up in the mornings, it's like, oh, it's too chilly out. It would be so much easier to breathe, if you're trying to do that. Um, so I would do that every day, and I watched what I ate, the more proteins and things like that. And I drank my water. Your typical things that they tell you to do. um, I blame a lot of this on stress. I let stress get to me in the last part of last year, and then retiring has, um, that has been a struggle. But I will tell you, your group has helped me tremendously adjust with that. So I think that, things are moving in a positive manner, and so I think things are going to come together. And Skyla, what does healthy feel like to you? Okay. So my muffin top isn't quite as big and my clothes fit better and I'm not breathing heavy when I just go for a walk. It's been tough on me. So and my mind is clearer. Yeah.
Good. I think those markers of what you just described are really good to pair with that declaration that you made when you were out,
Mhm.
because that's if you can speak life into exactly what made you feel good, then what Angie said, like your brain's going to look for a way to make you right. And if that isn't the craziest process, and we've all had it, I mean, it proves itself true over and over again in every area. I just don't understand, but ruts in our brain are a real thing. So we got to do something to upset the apple cart to say, okay, I'm shaking that energy off and today's a new day and I can reinvent this however I want. So I think I love hearing you get really specific about what is healthy, because that
Mhm.
might be different for me and it might be different for Jenny and it might be different for Angie. Um, all of us do different things. So
Right.
know you got to know when you are closing in on the target, right? So I would say keep expanding on that list so that it is just crystal clear. And the other thing, you guys all know me well enough to know that I'm a super rebel when it comes to doctors' suggestions. Probably not an ideal patient, okay? And Lisa, you know this better than anybody. But I would be real careful letting a doctor define healthy for you on their metrics. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to suggest that you fire your doctor, although if you did, I'd still love you. But I think you better than anybody else. So you get clear on what is healthy for you,
Yeah.
and we'll let that doctor worry about his or herself. Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Angie, I'm so
This is where we insert our disclaimer that we are not doctors, we are not clinicians, like, oh gosh. No, and I think it's really good that you're, like Skyla said, you're declaring it, right? Like, yeah, okay, own it.
Mhm.
Or it's, and here I am coaching on the action line. That's what we call that, what we're doing here. But but say, my plan is I go for a walk in the morning and I go at night, or I have to walk 15 minutes before I take a nap. I love naps, so I always have to like limit my naps. But I have to do this kind of like you get both. You're not running a marathon tomorrow or a half marathon tomorrow, but could I listen to one more song while I'm walking or finish the podcast and keep going? Because I'm sure it's like anything. Like last night, I did not want to do yard work. I would have done anything else in this house besides yard work. But once I get out there and I strap myself to that mower and that blade will chop off every, limb if I get off, like I get going and I'm fine. And then I get in the zone and then the vitamin D, like all the things start happening, right? And then I'm picking up sticks and then I'm coming in at 8:30 or whatever, just
Mhm.
so I heard on a workout, I actually want to capture it, but it's when I'm in the worst part of the workout, so I can't like pause or I'll like pass out or fall off the treadmill. But she says it's something to the effect of, I'll try to capture it. It's something to the effect of, you're not asking yourself to be that person or get to that final goal. You're just asking yourself to open up the opportunity to
Mm.
grow into that person.
Yeah.
I like that.
And that was huge to me because it's like, oh no, I don't have to bench press XYZ. You know, I don't have to be as fit as she is on that screen, who gets paid to do that every day, all day, right?
Yeah.
I need to just allow space for the opportunity to become that person again.
That's good.
And I think too, we've probably said this before, but it's never hurts to repeat it. When we're saying should, and I kind of hear that and when you're talking, like, I used to be able to do this,
Mhm.
right? I would, after work, I'd work all day, be stressed out, and then I'd go run, walk for an hour. And you're not at work anymore. I'm guessing that wasn't 6 months ago. When was that when you were doing training?
Um, it's been a couple of years now that I was training.
So you're probably
Um,
in a different space, a different
I am.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think it's just, putting your hands on your heart and be like, it's okay. Where I am right now is where I am right now. And what can I do a little bit more today to grow into that person I want to be?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're doing
Makes total sense.
You're doing such a good job, Lisa. I'm very proud
Thank
of you.
you.
Can I ask one more question? Lisa, I wonder if you have any goal or event on your schedule at some point in the future, like you did previously, that you're looking forward to, something that kind of gets you excited?
Well, yeah, the convention.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Um, but as far as racing, no. I mean, as far as
Yeah.
5Ks or half marathons or anything, I don't. And that was, one of the things that the doctor and I discussed. He asked me why I stopped training, and I said, I'm not doing half marathons anymore. And he says, so it appears to me that you are goal oriented. I said,
Mhm.
okay. And so that's when, he threatened to put me on cholesterol meds, which that's not happening. And I don't know what he's going to do if the weight doesn't come off like he suggested, but it will be off anyway, because I don't like how I feel, but yeah, I'm not doing the meds. So
So I think for me anyway, and don't let me put words in your mouth, but I feel like there's a big difference for me if I am motivated by like excitement and joy, or I'm motivated by fear. Like I'm getting called to the principal's office and I'm going to get disciplined by this doctor if I, or okay, I have a 5K coming up the week before convention, and it's so perfect because I'm going to go to Utah in great shape and I'm going to do it with my friends. And like that would just make my brain function differently.
right.
I understand. I mean, there's a reality. Okay. I get
Mhm.
that. And I want you to be your healthiest for very selfish reasons too. But
Yeah.
I feel like your homework, if we can give that, is to insert some fun and some joy into this. I know that previously you did all of your training alone for the most part, right?
Yeah, I
So
did.
is that still you're in a new season of life? Is that still the best favorite way for you? Or is it time for you to put that walking group together
Mm,
that we have talked about
yeah.
prior to retiring?
Yeah.
And maybe there's two or three other ladies that are in the same boat. I bet that could be a huge hit. And now you have the time and space to organize something like that.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I could sure try that for
I don't know.
sure.
It's an idea.
Yeah.
But that accountability factor might be easier if you're like, oh man, they're all coming to the park. I got to go because I'm
Yeah.
bringing the water today or whatever, you know?
Right. Yeah. No, that's a good idea though.
And
I know when I was trying that before, I couldn't get anybody to show
I
up, but
know,
timing
but
and
maybe,
they were worried about speed and all that.
right,
So,
right.
but yeah.
I
No,
don't know,
I'll try that.
thought,
Yeah, thank you.
you know me, I like to try to have fun
Yep.
like Mary Poppins. In every job there is to do, whatever that song is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Skyla, I think what you said about being motivated by joy versus fear, I'm gonna like needlepoint that and put it on a pillow. And Skyla said this because that to me can cover every area of my life where I'm struggling. Every area. And it is such a simple concept. And Lisa, I'm so glad you brought all this up about exercise because that's one of the things I've been trying to figure out too is like, I know what my end goal, what I want to, I know how I want to feel and be. And my why is because I want to be able to be super healthy, a grandmother that's on the floor with her grandchildren and have vitality. But it's the little needing some micro wins along the way because that goal seems so far off. And so, anyways, this has been very helpful. I'm so glad you brought that up. So, anyways, but yeah, motivated by joy versus fear is like the biggest aha I have had in a long time.
Good.
So,
Good.
yeah.
I had a
Good.
client the other day and she kept saying, you know, it's just, we're back to choose your heart, Angie. We're back to choose your heart. And it was about marriage, staying or going. Choose your heart, choose your heart. If I have to do it on my own, it's hard. If I have to stay, it's hard. And I haven't texted her, but it hit me. What if it's choose your joy? What if it's not choose your,
Yes.
because choose your heart sounds like it sucks either way. Or, you know,
Yes.
like,
That's miserable.
yes. But choose your joy. Which one brings you more joy? What brings you joy in both of the situations?
Yeah.
It totally reframes it.
Totally reframes it.
And back to what Angie said first, like your brain is going to find evidence for whichever you choose, right? And so if we're always looking for hard, by golly, it'll be there for us every
Right.
time.
Yep.
Because that's real life. I mean, we don't have to remind ourselves that there's going to be hard parts. We've all experienced that. But
Yeah, for sure. Well, this has been good. Thank you.
good.
Super helpful.
We are cheering you on, Lisa.
Thanks.
We want you to feel your best, period. Just because it feels better, right?
Yep, it sure does.
And I gotta say, Jenny, for you and Angie who are not in the grandma camp yet, I will just say that when we had birthday parties here both Saturday and Sunday, and so I think there were 17 people here on Saturday and we had 15 on Sunday. And so the living room was short on chairs. And so I chose to sit on the floor, which was fine. It's hardwood. There's not a rug. And I looked around the room and we had people from the age of about 90, great grandma's about 90, and several young adults, and obviously the little kids. But you guys, of that whole group, there were probably three of us adults that could get on the floor. And it kind of took my breath away for a second because people were looking at me that were younger than me saying, "Oh, do you want this chair?" And I'm like, "No, it's okay. I don't mind at all sitting on the floor." And I'm looking at them going, "You are chronically obese and you can't get down here or I'm going to have to lift you up." And there is burning, like on fire desire to be able to continue doing that. Like, I want to be able to crawl on my hands and knees on a hardwood floor with a kid on my back just because I can. And I don't know how long I will be able to do that, but if I keep doing it every day, maybe I will. But I'm like so grateful for every walk I took in the last year. And, every time I passed up whatever food I might have wanted to indulge in, I just thought it is literally for this moment. I'm on the floor and I'm not afraid I'm not going to be able to get up.
Yeah.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. So yeah, that's a real goal for right there.
Well, and to tag onto that, like Lisa, you mentioned it in the Facebook, obviously you mentioned it today again, like it's that doctor's appointment. It's like doomsday with the doctor.
It is.
And like
And I
that,
don't,
no, you want to feel healthy for the day after the doctor. Forget the
right.
doctor. The doctor's like going to the post office that day. There's no feelings with that. You're dropping mail off. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you're giving your joy or pain and sorrow up to the doctor.
Yeah, and I don't generally do that because I usually go and I call it my you're boring appointment because that's what he basically tells me every time. You're boring because he checks my cholesterol. That's it, And I just keep the appointment just so I have a primary doctor, for my stupid insurance. But this time I just knew it was going to be different this time because I had let things slide. And I don't know, I just was feeling poorly enough about myself that I let it get to me. And I guess I was hoping that was going to be the motivation to get me going in the right direction. But I feel like this group has been way more motivating than just the idea of what he has given me, for goals. So anyway, I'll get things accomplished. You just have to work through them, right?
Yeah.
You do. And it will be fun to see how you choose to reframe it. Because I'm sitting here, Lisa, and I'm thinking, like, okay, we're at the beginning of a month almost, right? And May could literally be the month of Lisa. And
Ooh, I like that.
Every day, right? Why not? And it could be the month of Jenny too. But literally, you could design a month because Angie and I are just here to give permission slips, right? You could design the month of May to be the month of Lisa, and every day is something that you serve up to yourself because you're worth it, because you're healthy and you can do it. And maybe you go on little mini adventures. Like, I know you've got your state park that's close, but what if you went to a new one that you hadn't been to?
Yeah.
And you hiked there and it turned into this new adventure. And
yeah, it's Fridays. You do that. You explore on Fridays or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, or you try a new recipe every Tuesday as a new healthy recipe, or you go swim somewhere because you haven't swam for 10 years. I don't know what that could look like. Or you take up bowling again. Didn't you used to bowl? Or do you?
Yeah, I did.
You still bowl?
I haven't bowled for about 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should probably bowl again just for fun.
I would love to. We don't have a bowling alley anymore here though.
Yeah. But I'm thinking, what if you stretched yourself to try to figure out something new that just kind of got you exhilarated for every day of the month of May, whatever that is? Because then I would be like, all right, new month, let's go. Like, it would be fun instead of, oh gosh, this is all the time I have,
Right. Yeah.
And probably have to celebrate at the end of the month. I'm just saying.
I love that.
Oh,
Yeah,
endless possibilities, right? Everything
you
is figured.
bet.
Go back to Marie Forleo.
Yeah.
Jenny, what about you? Is there anything on your list that is kind of a sneaky thought?
It's funny because when y'all asked the question, Angie, when you asked it, my brain instantly panicked because I thought, I don't know what to write.
Uh-huh.
Because I typically don't journal. That I need to get into the habit of doing it. I'm not a journaler, but when I enjoy the exercises here when we do them. But anyways, for this one, with it not having any boundaries, I was like, I don't know what to write. So I literally wrote, I'm not sure what to write. And then the first thing that came to my head was Costco, meal plan, exercise. I went full crazy to-do list, which actually felt really good to throw it up all on paper. And it also made me realize I'm holding all this in my head. And I think when I said, I'm not sure what to write, it's because I'm overwhelmed. It's like, I don't know, you know. And that's kind of how I tend to approach things, is in a sense of overwhelm, which is not effective or joyful at all. Can't really have joy when you're overwhelmed unless you're overwhelmed with joy, I guess. But anyway, so I just said, yeah, I'm not sure what to write. And then it was just a massive to-do list.
Yeah.
Anyways,
How freeing though to get that out.
yeah.
Um, I Angie, that's so smart. I've not heard it in that way, but our brains are processors, not databases.
Mm.
That's perfect.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
man, we like to try to hold on to everything. I've become a lot more cognizant. I don't know, it was sometime in the last 6 months. I heard this term about women typically carrying the invisible load.
Mm.
I don't know, maybe somebody just made it up. Maybe that term has been around for eons and I just clued in. But I think that is a very heavy weight because we just feel like we have to be the ones to sort it all out and to remember all the birthday parties and to go get the grocery. Like it literally can go on and on. Or we can put it on paper on a regular basis, sort it, put everything in its category, and then you know what? You can share that with John.
Give him
At,
his to-do list.
at least so that he sees what is in your brain, because otherwise they can't.
Right.
Right. And sometimes I do that just to see, like, here's a couple things I'm thinking about. Do, 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 do. What are you working on today, honey? And he's like, I mean, I got to do Wordle.
Pretty much.
But I mean, that's a terrible exaggeration. But I think if for no other reason, even if you don't show John, you get it out, you can see it
Right.
and sort it and prioritize what's on fire and has to be done today, what just needs to be done by someone.
Mhm.
So even if you don't journal, Jenny, keep dumping your brain fully.
Yeah, I think I feel so comfortable doing that,
Yeah.
getting all the thoughts out that way, almost like a bullet point. And I don't know if it's because I don't want to write sentences, which is weird. I don't think
Okay.
that's it. I don't mind doing that, but I think I just feel like I can get it. It comes out easier if I just bullet point.
Yeah.
And in my most successful times, and I've gotten away from this, and talking about this reminded me, and it's so obvious, but I've done this before where I get a master list and then each thing that I've written down is on a separate post-it note and I'll put it literally on our dining room wall because, and it's tacky, but I see it. And you're right, then everyone else sees it too. And then I'm able to pull something off and throw it away and feel good about it. I think where I struggle is everything, and this is weird. Some people don't understand this because they're different, but everything is of almost equal priority.
Okay.
And unless it's on fire and in front of me, I'm not doing it, because everything feels important. So then nothing becomes
Nothing.
important unless it's on fire. and then I'm stressed out and hurrying, and it's not a healthy way to approach things. So I don't know how to prioritize. That's hard.
I would say I'm in that same headspace right now with life. And I said to Josh, I kind of laughed. If I laugh about it, then it's like lighter, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, of course it's like this. It's April and May. Yeah, I don't have kids in choir concerts anymore or any of that stuff, but the
Mhm.
graduation party invites are coming. Where are you going on vacation? Did you book the place? It's
Mhm.
all like, and there's some weird, martyrism that we have that like we have to do it. I don't have to do that. He can book the trip. I don't really care where we stay. Or he can pick three, I pick one. Right? And and I get like you, Jenny, then I get stuck. I just don't do anything. And I've got a couple things that have a May 1st deadline on them. And it's like, well, I just won't do anything. And then what do? We wait till the last second. Everyone's hair's on fire. We get it done. There might be some yelling. There might be, no, if I have to do this, you have to sit at the table too and do this, right? But what I realize is like, okay, it only took a half hour. Good job, Angie, for putting that off for 4 weeks.
Every time. Every time.
Every time.
No.
Every time.
And
Maybe that's maybe that's I used to use the term like a power hour with when I did direct sales. Like I can't pop in and out all day, but I could sit there for 1 hour and for
Right.
15 minutes make phone calls, 15 minutes check the
Yeah.
email, 15 minutes do social media.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like I'm chaining myself to this chair come hell or high water from 2 to 3 every day, and I'm working on the stack of stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
that feeling, you get that dopamine when you're like, yesterday, all I did
Yes.
was printed the things for the kids' trip that's happening, and she needs visa. She's going to different countries. And I just printed the stuff. I felt better just to print the email because I felt like I wasn't searching for something that was
Yeah.
lost in the abyss.
Yes.
I think you're onto something. For real.
The power hour.
We do, I don't necessarily do the power hour thing. It's happening in Young Living. It exists.
Oh, it is a thing. Okay.
It is.
Okay.
I don't subscribe, but I could. It's out there. But having a power hour for us as human women, not business related, to take care of all the other junk
Right.
is freaking brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like literally, why wouldn't we clear 1 hour a day and then I just always think, okay, I have the perpetual brain dump list and I get no more joy than crossing those suckers off or pulling the Post-its off the wall. If I focused for 1 hour, then it would become a joyful race. Like, I wonder how many I can pull off today.
Yes.
Can I get 4? Can I get 6?
Mm-hmm.
And I would just go after it like it was my job.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that you're done in an hour.
It's done in 59 more minutes. I'm out of here, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
That is a great idea.
I like that idea of blocking it in an hour because what I've done is like, okay, I've got 20 minutes and this does work for me. Like I've got 20 minutes. How many of these Post-its can I get rid of? And that could still work, but there are many days when if I don't have it scheduled, then I don't have that 20 minutes or I don't recognize that I have that 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I have it, but having it like, okay, this is what we do for an hour. I love that because it's predictable and I have a tendency to forget what's important. Like, oh, I need to do this or that. And so if it was something of, I always have this power hour, then there's a chance that I will remember it.
Right.
So
I mean, it's like creating your own office hours for yourself. And like you put your phone on do not disturb unless your family needs you. You don't pick that stupid phone up, wherever. Sometimes and I don't practice this all the time too. I'm like preaching to the choir here with you here, but It's sometimes it's going to a coffee shop. It's like I have to remove myself because if not, the laundry will go off, the dog will want to go out, right? And you think, oh, I should probably put that stuff in the crock pot. I mean, what's 10 minutes gonna be?
Correct.
And then there went your hour, right?
Yeah.
You're gone.
Jenny, I know that you homeschool. I don't
Mhm.
know how that flows at this season of life, but is there any way, like, are you at the table with the kids, but kind of doing your own thing, or are you pretty hands-on? I'm wondering if you could overlap your power hour while they were doing work, if that would be a good use of time. Just
Yes. Yeah, Michael's totally self-sufficient. He's on his own. Matthew, I split it with Macy, my older
okay,
daughter. She does math with him and reads with him. And so while she's doing that, I could be doing this.
love it. Love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It's nice to have older kids that can
That's
teach
so
and
beautiful.
homeschool.
Oh my gosh.
It's great.
Oh,
It's really
good.
nice. So anyways, but yeah, I could definitely have time to carve out that to be able to do it. So that would be, I think would be really good. And get a lot of this stuff off the list. And like you said, Angie, so much of it is like, it's like every month when I go to pay my bills, my business bills, whatever, I was like, oh, I don't have to pay bills. And it takes 5 minutes. Why do I dread it? It's 5 minutes. It's never been any longer. I'm like,
And,
it's like the brain just wants to think it's going to suffer.
and you know, we dread it. There's a feeling associated with it. Like when I check the credit card, I'm like, oh, I know there's a feeling. There's a
Mhm.
feeling of, and so sometimes you just have to do it. You just have to do it every day, write down every day I write down our bank account. So
Mhm.
there's no mystery. There's no, and when we're fearing and
Emotion out.
resisting, yeah, there's a reason. And
Mhm.
that's something to explore too. Like why are you resisting bills? It's just part
Right.
of life, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And every month I'm like, this was like not painful.
This is not new. Yeah, right, right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's super helpful. That's awesome.
We give things a lot more power than they need.
You're good.
Yeah, get them out. Do not let them puke in your house.
It might not be a ruggable. You never
It'll
know.
be a rug. Push them onto the tile.
Oh, goodness. That's
Guys,
funny.
this is so good.
It is.
I feel like today I'm being coached, Angie. Is that crazy? Like, thank you, Angie. This was really good for me. Oh,
Sorry about that.
that's all good.
No,
Did you get a
it's fine.
package?
I did. I think Butcher Box was delivered.
Oh, well, he knows what's in that one.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah. So
Oh, I love it. Well, Jenny, I'm sorry. I feel like we kind of jumped to the action line for you because we are just overflowing with so many ideas. Catch us again and we'll actually go through that proper creation cycle.
you've gone through it with me before. I
I
remember
know,
it.
that's
I
true.
liked it. Yeah.
That's true.
Totally.
It is wildly effective. I mean, I would say just as you're making your brain dump, just keep that circle going on your page and just think, all right, well, for this task, what am I thinking about it? How does that make me feel?
Mhm.
What am I doing? And you get to the point where you don't even have to hardly write it down because your
Mhm.
brain just sort of goes through it. And you're like, but how do I want to feel?
Yeah.
And then kind of work that sucker backwards. Like, well, what would I have to do to feel joyful about paying bills?
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
know. Maybe that's the day you get your special coffee and you only get it on bill paying day. And I would
Mhm.
look forward to that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
So,
And I'm like in that stuck, overwhelmed phase right now too, Jenny. And my thought I've been writing in my journal every day is I have plenty of time to do what matters the most.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. So then if the thing doesn't get done, like then I feel like, no, I have plenty of time. I have plenty of time.
Mhm.
And again, if our brain will want to prove us right. So if we keep thinking, I have plenty of time to get done the things that matter most. I have plenty of time. Suddenly you're going to have like I got off of my call this morning. Like, I have 2 hours before this live coaching. What do I need to do? Like,
Exactly.
I have plenty of time. Like you said, I have 20 minutes probably all over the
Yeah.
place, but I'm not
Mhm.
scheduling an hour for scheduling. Yeah.
Right. Right. No, I love it.
This
Yeah.
is
Thank
good, guys.
This is rich. Yeah. So for everybody that's watching the replay, enjoy the heck out of this because I do feel like this was full of gold. Oh, okay. So friends, as we wrap up here, since this is our last live coaching, Angie and I, first and foremost, want to say thank you to you and to everybody else that is in the Rise and Shine group. This has been a stellar experience for us. This is the first group coaching kind of focus group that Angie and I have done. And the exciting thing that we want to share with you is that it's not our last. And so we have plans and they are being developed as we speak. And we would ask two things of you guys. And the first one is, as you know, with all things, testimonials are very helpful. Not only we don't want you to pat us on the back just to make us feel good, but we genuinely would appreciate feedback. And if it has been impactful, would love to have that testimonial captured because you better believe we're going to share that in the future. Okay. We'll just be real transparent. So Angie and I are going to put a post up in the Rise and Shine group, and your testimonial can go in the comment section below.
Perfect.
The second thing, Angie, do you want to tell them about the kind of the survey idea? This was sort of our next question. But
Look at me sitting up. Like, what? What was her name? Yeah. So this is, and it's interesting. It kind of came up organically. Lisa, I'm already seeing you launching on a health journey, right? So if you had the gift of staying in a group like this, what would be your next thing to tackle? Since we have morning routines kind of down, what would be your next area? And we'll throw that out in the Facebook group too. But
Oh, are you wanting an answer now?
yes, we'll answer
Sure.
us now. I mean, we can go over in the recording if you guys can for a few minutes.
Okay. Mm. Consistency for me on
Okay.
my walking and jogging. Yeah.
Mine would be exercise related too.
Really? Okay, good.
Yeah. Consistency. And trying to figure out what will motivate me to continue on a daily basis.
Okay.
So yeah, I want it to become just like we have our morning routine, down. I want it to become a non-negotiable.
Right.
I love that.
Same.
The more habits we're building. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Did you guys, and just because we have you on here, I'm going to ask another question. How did you feel about the timing of this? You guys were pretty regular. Would it be beneficial to do something in the evening or do something a different time?
It might be for those that work
Mhm.
outside the home. I'm okay with keeping it in the daytime, but
Yeah.
Days that-
6 months ago, I might not have been.
Yeah.
So
This happened to be a really good time for me, but evenings can be a little bit hairy. It just depends on what day, honestly.
I know.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because we know there's a lot of people that work, so we kind of thought about
Yeah.
occasionally doing one at night, to help people get the live experience, but
Yeah.
we are just so proud of you guys. Thank you for being honest and vulnerable and real and showing up for yourself, most importantly, and for us too. So we didn't have to just talk to each other, although we have fun.
This has been valuable because it's so interesting how you can feel like you're dealing with something and it's all stuck in your head. And until you start talking about it, it doesn't make any sense. And then to talk about it and then have you guys ask good questions back. And then you realize, well, I've always had the answer in me. I just didn't know it, couldn't find it, but it took someone else asking just really smart, good questions. And so, that's been super helpful for me. So y'all are both very good at what you do and you need to continue. So, been very, very, very good. I've loved it. And so if you end up doing an exercise group or something, sign me up. So I'll do it.
We're going to put Jenny on the recurring billing cycle so she doesn't sit down and write a check every month.
During her power hour. Yes, yes.
That's right.
Just hand over your credit card, Jenny.
Yeah,
That's right.
Funny.
It's automated.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, you guys, are there any other questions or anything? Today is Tuesday and we are at the 29th. So we still have a fun door prize drawing and we'll just let you two know. The rest we'll find out when they watch the replay, but we're going to be drawing names from those who comment on the testimonial post. Okay. So increase your odds there. That'll go up tomorrow, right? Or today, Angie?
maybe today.
Either today or tomorrow. Anyway,
I think tomorrow.
Are you going to keep the Facebook group for a while, or what are y'all going to do with it? Do you know?
I think we'll keep it open for a bit, and I'm not in any hurry necessarily to close it. Sometimes it's weird. I don't know. I mean, it could just go dormant, and I don't think it hurts anything, does it, Angie, to have?
I've got several.
It's only you guys. I mean, everybody that's here is here, and so I don't know. It could remain forever, as far as I'm concerned.
I just need to go back and watch some of the things that I missed.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
There won't be any rush there. Don't
Okay.
let that bring you stress.
Yeah.
And I can see us moving forward. I haven't discussed this with Skyla, but when we're putting things, I was saving it all over the place, but saving it all to a YouTube channel or something that you could still tap into. Because I know there is a Facebook where the lives are going away, like things are changing with Facebook.
True.
They can't store all of our crap all of the time, it turns out. So
Yeah, that's a great idea.
yeah, something like you said, Jenny, so you can I missed that. I want to watch that one more time.
Yeah, that'd be great. Cool. Well, thank you
Perfect.
so much.
Thank you.
Really good.
You're welcome. You guys have a good week and just continue to keep us posted on how things are going, okay?
Will do.
Sounds good. Thank you, ladies.
Thank
Thanks.
you.